Hello friends, this is Rachna Sharma and you are watching Food Tech Geeks, where I upload videos, lectures, tutorials, exam guidance on food science and technology. Welcome to the third video of this series where we discuss most important and expected questions of various food tech competitive exams. So let's start with today's video. Question number 1. Basic principle of freeze drying is, and the options are given. We know that drying is a process in which we remove the water from food, or we can say that we reduce the water activity so that microbial growth can be inhibited and the various biochemical reactions, various enzymatic reactions can be retarded. So if I talk about freeze drying, so in freeze drying, we evaporate the water from ice crystals without ice melting. So the correct answer is option A. So in this picture, you can see the mechanism of freeze drying. So freeze drying is a low temperature dehydration process and it involves freezing of the product, lowering the pressure and then removing ice by sublimation. So this is the basic principle of freeze drying. So it is also known as lyophilization or cryodesiccation. In this, first we freeze our food so that the available water will be freezed to ice, and then we will lower the pressure by applying vacuum, and due to that the ice crystal, without converting into liquid, they will directly convert it into vapors and they will be removed from the food system. So this is the basic principle of freeze drying, and that is why it is known as freeze drying, because we are drying the food by the application of low temperature. So this is the principle of freeze drying. Next question. Kannaj is a type of, options are grain storage structure, drying method, food products, grain separator. So the correct answer to this question is option A, that is grain storage structure. In this picture, you can see how a kannaj looks like. So kannaj is a traditional storage structure for grains, and it is of cylindrical shape, which is made up of bamboo splits, and the walls are sealed with mud plasters on both the sides. So this is how a kannaj looks like, and the capacity of kannaj varies from 1 to 20 tons. It can vary according to the size. So this is how a kannaj looks like. Next question. During cooking of meat, collagen is softened and converted to, options are elastin, pectin, gelatin, none of the above. So the correct answer to this question is option C, that is gelatin. So we know that collagen is a water soluble connective tissue which is found in meat. So when it is cooked with moist heat, it becomes gelatin. And how does it happen? So when the collagen is hydrolyzes, it breaks down into smaller pieces, and these smaller pieces are able to dissolve in the surrounding liquid, and thus they form gelatin. In this diagram also you can see that the collagen on the application of heat gets converted into smaller pieces which are solubilizing in the surrounding liquid, and thus they form gelatin solution, and when it is cooled down it forms gelatin gel. And we are very well aware of the application part of gelatin in our food industry. And the more the collagen is present in the meat, more it will be stiffer and less juiciness will be there in the meat. So it is very important to convert the collagen into gelatin to improve the tenderness of the meat. Next question. Case hardening in food takes place by. So case hardening is a problem which is being faced in certain foods. So you have to tell that this is a problem in food which happens due to freezing, improper drying, chilling and drying. So the correct answer to this question is option B, that is improper drying. Now, how improper drying cause case hardening in food? So case hardening means hardening of the skin of the food, means the outer surface of the food becomes hard, and this happens during the uneven drying. For example, when we are drying the food, so during the drying process, the hot air will remove the moisture from the surface, and thus the moisture from the inner part, from the core, will move up to the surface, and then the water will be removed. So this is how the drying takes place in food. But if the system is not controlled, the hot air is having a very high temperature, or the speed of the air is very high, so what will happen? The surface will dry faster than the rate of water from the core getting on the surface, and due to this, the surface will become dry up. However, the core will still be moist. So this is known as case hardening, and in this situation, the surface will be dry up, it will become hard, but the inner core will still have the moisture, and it will allow mold growth because the inner portion still has the moisture. So this is the problem. Case hardening is the problem during improper drying of food. Next question. Hunter lab is used to measure. Hunter lab is an instrument. The photo is being given here. So it is used to measure pH value, electrode potential, color, none of these. So the correct answer to this question is option C, that is color. We know that color is a very important part of a sensory evaluation. So color of the food is to be evaluated, and that is being done by this Hunter lab colorimeter, and this measures the color in three terms, that is L, A and B. So various parameters are given here. In these parameters, the Hunter color calorimeter measures the color intensity of any food sample. Next question. Biggest germ is found in which of the following cereals? So the options are maize, wheat, rice, sorghum. So germ is a part of the cereal grains, and it is a reproductive part of the cereal grains that germinate to grow into a plant, and it is also known as the embryo of the seed. So every cereal grain has a portion which is known as germ. So the biggest germ portion is found in. Next question. What is the strength of brine solution for the canning of vegetables? So we know canning is a process in which we hermetically sealed fruits and vegetables in a tin container, and then we sterilize it so that the shelf life could be extended up to years and more than a year. So when we can vegetables, we need a liquid that is known as brine. So brine is known as a salt solution, and it is having a particular concentration. So the concentration which is required for canning of vegetables is 2%. So the answer is option A, that is 2%. And at this percent, the brine solution is capable of having antimicrobial activity, and it also helps in the preservation of vegetables by the process of osmosis. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following can be used for the preservation of breads and baked goods? So for the preservation of baked goods, we need to add certain additives, and that preservative which is being added is known as propionates. So the correct answer is option B. Propionates are antimicrobial which are being added to breads and baked foods, and they keep the baked products and breads fresh by preventing bacterial and mold growth. So they prevent the bacterial and mold growth, and we know that mold growth is very common problem in baked foods and breads. One of the example of propionates which is being used in breads and baked goods is calcium propionate, and the various properties of calcium propionates are being given. It is non-toxic, antimicrobial, fungicide, and it is used as a preservative. So as it is antifungal and antibacterial, it is being used in baked products. Also the various application parts is being given here, so you can check out these. Next question. Papain is obtained from. So papain is a proteolytic enzyme, and it is being obtained from. So the answer is option A, that is papaya. So papain is a proteolytic enzyme which is being obtained from papaya, and here you can see these are being available in the market also. Various companies are producing these. So it is known as proteolytic enzyme, and it is used for meat tenderization process. And meat tenderization is a process in which we break down the collagen of meat to make it more palatable for consumption. It will increase its juiciness and tenderness. So this papain enzyme, that is proteolytic enzyme, is used for meat tenderization and is also having a lot another application parts also. Moving on to the last question. Mineral water is packed in dash bottles. So we are very well aware of this, that mineral water are packed in PET bottles. So the answer is option B, that is PET bottles. PET stands for polyethylene tetraethyl. And why it is used to package waters? Because it has a good dimensional stability. It is resistant to impact, moisture and solvents. There are various properties of PET bottles which make it suitable for packaging of mineral water. So we are done with these questions. I hope these must have helped you a lot. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and please share it with your friends and classmates, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. And yes, you can stay connected to me with this email ID, that is foodtechgeeks@gmail.com. You can send your queries and any doubts to this email ID. I will try my best to entertain all these. And stay tuned. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.